Good morning, and happy Sunday wherever you're watching me from. I hope you're having a great Sunday and looking forward to a happy and productive Monday. Welcome once again. Today, I want to talk about gratitude. But before I dive into this topic, I want to say a big thank you to everyone who has subscribed, who is watching and following this journey, and everyone who is supporting in one way or the other. I just want to say thank you. And if you're just coming across my page, Rise Again Network, and you're yet to subscribe, please subscribe, like, and drop a comment. I will respond. If you have a question, if you have anything you want to talk about, maybe from the previous video you have a question, please go ahead and drop them. I will respond. I will answer you. So thank you once again for all the support. I see them and I appreciate you guys so much. So today I want to talk about gratitude, because gratitude is very important in the journey of life, especially when you're coming from up there and then you're experiencing some setbacks, some failure, right? Gratitude will help you navigate life much easier. It will help you see things in a different perspective, right? And it will help you, keep building, because when you look back, you'll be like, oh, okay, there is something to continue for. You understand? But in the absence of gratitude, you might find yourself hating on your journey, comparing yourself to other people. And comparison is the thief of joy, right? Comparison will rob you of your peace. It will rob you of your vibe. It will rob you of your authenticity, because you want to mimic others, you want to be like others, you want to copy. But when you embrace gratitude, when it flows from within, you will find out that most of the things that you should be angry about are really things you should give thanks for, are really things you should be glad for, are really things you should be happy for. Okay, let me give you a practical scenario of what I'm talking about. Okay, for instance, imagine that a lot has happened, maybe in your personal life or in your business. Let's say a lot has happened, and that a lot brought you from 100 maybe to 10 or to 5 or even to 0. And then you find yourself at the darkest of the darkest rock bottom, and then you're asking yourself, like, from here, what is the next? How do I crawl out? Where do I begin from? Is there even a point in trying? Is there even a point in trying to rise again? Is there even a point in trying to rebuild again? What's the essence of it? If I could go up and then crash down, so what's the essence of trying to stand again? Now, while you're asking yourself these questions, which might make sense to you at the time, then you also look at this. Okay, yes, the material things we used to have are no longer there. The fancy lifestyle is no longer there. The balling is no longer there. Paying bills is now a struggle. Meeting your basic needs is now a struggle. Probably some important people in your life which you held so tight to your heart have left. You understand? And like you can't even make sense of anything that is happening. And then you be like, what is the essence of all this? If I have lost, you know, my friends, if some family are no longer checking up on me because I'm no longer what I used to be to them, if people no longer recognize me the way they do before because I had, so what is the essence of all this? And then you look back and you see that, okay, yes, I've lost all these things, yes, I've lost some standing, but I have my life, I have my health, right? My children are doing okay health wise. My maybe your partner is still there hanging on with you, your parents are still healthy, nobody is calling you to send money to them, nobody is calling you to rush down to the hospital because your parents are hospitalized, nobody is calling you to tell you that your kids need some urgent medical attention, and you yourself, you're healthy, you're healthy, you're not in the hospital. And then you look at, okay, if I've lost all this but I have my health, I have my family, my parents are still healthy, like I don't have an emergency that I'm dealing with this huge setback, and then I have to start looking for a way to raise money to pay hospital bills, to sort out some critical emergencies, then tell me, is that not reason enough to be grateful? Sorry. Is that not reason enough to be grateful? So when you look at it, you see that you have a lot of reasons to be grateful, and practicing gratitude will help you navigate those difficult phases much better, because you don't have those things you used to have, but then you have your life, but then you have your health, but then your family is still basking strong, then your parents are still there for you. You don't have any critical emergency that will make you to go and start borrowing money to pay hospital bill, because once there is a life emergency, you can't say you don't have. You just have to make sure, you just have to look for it. You just have to make sure that no matter where or how, you get those things sorted out. So tell me, is that not enough reason to be grateful for? You might not have a roof over your head. You might have lost your home, your job, business is, in fact, you've gone bankrupt, right? A lot of things has gone wrong. But then when you look back, there are little things to be grateful for. And one thing I love about gratitude is that it has a way of activating your happy hormones. Have you tried to kind of like remember some things that God did for you, or a help that came in through your friends, through family, through random people, through strangers we were not expecting? You encountered someone and this person showed you kindness in a way that you never saw coming, and then when you remember it, you laugh, you smile, you're happy. Do you see how that kind of like lights up your mood? Do you see how it makes you come alive? That is what gratitude does for you. So I do not know, I know there are some very difficult situations one might be going through or coming from, and then you might, yes, it will have a way of changing you. Some things you go through will have a way of changing you. Maybe if you're this vibey person, maybe you're someone who is overly excited, maybe you're someone who little things kind of like excites. There are some things you will go through, there are some phases you will pass through in life. It will remold you, it will reshape you. Maybe things that excite you before, you no longer see them as anything. Maybe things that get you easily excited, might not really have that effect on you again. It's okay, because of, yeah, the truth is that the things we go through in life changes us in some ways, you get. But do not lose your sense of gratitude, no matter what. because gratitude will help you see things differently. It will help you navigate whatever phase it is you're going through. Okay, let me bring it down to a real life scenario. Okay, um yesterday I was making a meal, right? And while at it, I think after I finished that meal or something, then I was like, a thought came in through my mind, a thought flashed in, and I was like, okay, okay, like I remember. Yeah, I was talking, this conversation was going on with him, we just between me, and my inner mind. And I was like, yes, I remember this. And I was like, okay, I remember like 3 years ago, I so much prayed for something. I so much, you know yearned for something. And then today I'm like asking myself, remember, do you recognize this? Does this feel familiar? you know do you remember? They're like, oh yes, I do. Like, yeah, I do. I remember this so much. Sometimes it was something, it was something I used to have in the past. It was something I used to have in abundance. And then, when everything changed, when I went through all the storms that I went through in life, when I went through all the everything I went through in life, so I kind of like lost that thing. You understand? I lost it. It wasn't there. So, and then 3 years ago, I was praying. I was like, oh God, I really wished for this thing again. I'm yearning for this again. And yesterday, I was having this reflection, and I remembered. I was like, oh yes, I remember this. I remember it so much. How I would pray and say, God, please, I want this again. God, please, I want this again. I want to have this again. And I want to like experience and have this again. And then, like, oh yes, I remember it. And sincerely, that is, if you see my mood, like my mood, I became so happy. I became so happy. And whenever I'm happy, I often play, because somehow I would say I'm a traditional person when it comes to the kind of music I love and enjoy. If you kind of like want to get me intoxicated without alcohol, just play me high life, or our cultural Owerri bongo, right? These two music kind of like it gets me high. So I started playing this music. I started playing Osadebe. I started playing some of the bongo high life, and geez, I was so happy. I was so happy dancing and vibing, because I remembered how I lost this, when I lost it, and how I prayed for it, the periods, those days, what those days felt like for me. And then remembering that yesterday, that yes, okay, this thing that was a prayer point at some point during my difficult phase is not something I have again. You get? So that is what gratitude does for you. Gratitude keeps you grounded. It makes you happy. It makes you go through the day with enough energy, with enough smile on your face. It makes you go through the day. Someone will be like, ah, what is going on? Why is this one so happy? Why is this one so vibey? Why is this one? They won't understand, because they don't know your journey. They don't know where you're coming from. They don't know the things you've overcome to get here. You understand? So when you embrace gratitude, it changes a lot of things for you. Yes, the situations might not be something to be jumping up for, but inside of you, you will be grateful for how far you've come, for the experiences you've had in the past, for the journey, for the journey and everything you've been through, you've overcome, because it takes a lot of strength, to rise up again from challenges. It takes a lot of strength to rebuild, because some people that might have gone through what you went through might not have that same standing that you have right now. They might not be able to share their story to motivate and inspire others, and they let that be their own final definition. But for you, you stood your ground. You said no, that You are not going to remember me as someone who failed and did not rise. You're going to remember me. My story is going to be an inspiration. I'm going to share it and the world will hear about me. It's not everyone that can that can take such stand, to rebuild their life from what has happened to them. So for you that took that stand, for you that is that strong, you have every reason to activate your gratitude, because it has a way of uplifting you. It has a way of making you go through your days. It has a way of making you go through your nights. It has a way of making you see things, overcome things, and all that. And while I was at it that yesterday, I had to even, like, do a little bit of my recording and a little bit of a voice notes recording I sent to my girlfriend, and she was like, this one, you're happy like this today, what happened? And I was like, nothing, just nothing happened. I'm just feeling this happy. That is it. That is what gratitude can do for you. That is how gratitude can make you go through your day. So my day, I'm not invalidating your experience or what you're going through right now, but I'm telling you, take it from someone who, who has been through her own difficult phase, who has been through so many things that I'm not yet sharing. So if I tell you, please, 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 please embrace a sense of gratitude. I'm talking from experience. Because I've been at the darkest of the dark of my life, of my journey. I've gradually crawled out of my darkest rock bottom, and I'm standing here today sharing my story, using it to inspire you, using it to motivate, using it to tell you that failure is something each and every one of us, so far we are doing something, so far we are building, so far we are rising up in the morning, getting out of our bed to do something. We must encounter failure at different phase, at different points of our life. But do not let it be what people will remember you for. Yes, let it be something that will inspire them. Okay, this person went through this and experienced this, so mine is not as a result of my sin or village people or anyone after my life. It is as a result of building, is as a result of doing something. So that I failed or that I'm encountering this difficult moment doesn't mean that something is wrong with me or I do not have the ability to become or to build. Okay, if this person could navigate, okay, let me draw inspiration from her story, from her journey, from her life, and rebuild and navigate my own life, or find a solution to whatever problem I'm encountering. So for you that have come this far, please do not give up on yourself. Do not see yourself as a failure. Do not judge yourself harshly. If for anything, please be kind to yourself. Speak so kindly to yourself. Speak kindly to others around you. Speak kindly to anyone whom you come in contact with, because you do not know the power your words will have. You do not know how your works will affect them, because the word we speak is so powerful, right? It has a way of uplifting, it has a way of tearing down, it has a way of melting people, it has a way of molding people. So please let your words mold, let your words inspire and uplift. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others, be kind to anyone you meet, and if you can, please mentor and not met down. Okay, because you do not know what everyone is passing through. Most of us don't look like what we've been through. Most of us don't look like the challenges we have overcome. And if you meet anyone who looks like what they are going through, if you meet anyone who looks like where they are coming from, if you meet anyone who looks like what they've overcome, please be kind. Okay, be kind to them. Please be kind. If you can share your story with them to motivate them, please do. Share your story with them. Show them a bit of empathy. Let them know that, okay, this journey is not peculiar to them. Okay, this person said they've been through similar thing in the past. Okay, so if they can overcome, I too can overcome. Show them a little bit of empathy. If it's sympathy, if you can relate to what this person has gone through in life, if you can relate to their story, you can relate to their experience, please show them a little bit of sympathy. I can't relate to this, but I feel what you're going through, right? I'm here for you. It might not be a monetary thing, it might just be emotional support, it might just be a word of encouragement. Please just try in your own capacity to be that which will make someone look onto life with renewed hope. Please, please, and please. Life is difficult. Everyone is going through one thing or the other. They might not look like it, but please be kind. At different level of your life, please be kind. While at your home, to your domestic helpers, please be kind. To those who cannot repay you, please be kind. To everyone who has come in contact with you, please show them some kindness, because people do not remember what you do for them. They do not remember what you say to them. I mean, this is after a very long time. Or they do not, even within a short time, people do not remember what you gifted them, because those things are material things. They don't last forever. So is our memory. People do not remember how flashy your car you arrived the venue with. People do not remember so many things, but you do know what people do not forget. No one forgets how people makes them feel. No one forgets how people makes them feel. If you're someone who puts smiles on people's face, it could be just by saying a little words of affirmation, of being kind, of people remember who make them feel happy, feel seen, feel respected, feel welcomed. So people do not forget how you make them feel, but they might forget the good food you gave them. They might forget the taste of the delicious meal they had in your house, but they will never forget how they felt where they were in your space, where they were where they were with you. So please, kindness is something that is not negotiable. It is what everybody deserves. Animals deserve it, plants deserve it, human being deserves it. So please, I will talk about kindness in another time. But for today, please, in your own capacity, be kind to everyone you meet, because people are going through a lot. People are going through a whole lot. So your kindness will help people go through life. And also, you that is going through life, please do not forget what I said: gratitude. Gratitude will help you see things differently. It will help you appreciate the little things you have. It will help you appreciate how far you've come. It will help you appreciate, the tiniest thing that people will look like, what is this that is making her happy? But to you, you know what it took you to get there. You know what it took you to have that. You understand? Previously there was no roof, there was no food on your table, and now you can afford one square meal, or two or three. Tell me, is that no reason to be grateful? Isn't it? So when you look inward, you will surely find several reasons to be grateful. So please, while you're going through it, be prayerful, show gratitude, and keep building. I promise you, it doesn't last forever. Tough moment doesn't last forever, but tough people do. And I know for a certain, you will surely come out stronger, you will rebuild better, you will see things a bit differently, and your foundation this time around becomes so solid that no matter the setbacks that comes, it will never bring you down to zero again. So be grateful for your experiences you've had. Be grateful for the failures. Be grateful for the things you didn't do right that led to where you are right now. Learn the lessons. Write them down so that you don't forget. Journal your thoughts so that you don't forget. And when it's time to share your story, to be the inspiration that the younger generation will use, to overcome whatever, phase of their life they might be in, they will draw inspiration from you. Thank you for watching, and if you have made this far, I know you've subscribed already. Thank you. See you in my next video.